So you gave a presentation today. How concerned are you about the problem here?
Well, I am concerned. It's such a dramatic increase. I mentioned in the presentation, I don't want anybody to be alarmed over it. I'm hopeful that when we have the capacity to deal with this, we will. What's causing it? Well, that's a good question. If I had that answer, as I mentioned in the presentation, you do the analysis, and there isn't one single reason, or one single group, or one single age group that's doing it. It's sporadic. But if you have 8 altercations with very different reasons for those altercations, so we've even done the analysis on the age, and nothing really comes to one common.
The 14-year-old was killed just on Tuesday. It appears to be a random act. You had one last year, a kill and a bad hang. This isn't the first time, but are you looking at gangs as a potential problem? You've had a population growth here, and amongst the youth, there's definitely violence and growing violence. How concerned are you about this?
Well, I mean, I've said that many times. We've got an increase in gangs. We've gone from 33 back in 2003 to just over 100 right now. That's a huge increase in gangs, and it's something we have to deal with. But everybody has to remember, there's probably only about 1,600 gang members, but there's a lot of good kids that run around here that are not necessarily gang members.
The boy that was just murdered. What do you think of this?
You know what? We haven't had enough time. I mean, it's a tragic event, and I really feel bad for the parents. And I know how devastating it can be to the family. But we need time to do some sort of analysis to even come up and make a statement. I understand that we are going to do a press conference soon on it.
But the majority aren't random crimes. That was one of the things that you...
No.
And what did you mean by that?
Well, I mean, a random act is to me, is if someone comes up, approaches someone, injures them, and doesn't know them. And there's no rhyme or reason for it. Subsequently, when you get to the end of the trial, there will be a reason for it. But there's a relationship. As I mentioned, they know each other. There's some sort of a relationship between the two. As we mentioned, all but the one case.
So do you need more police?
The fact that there's a relationship?
Well, I think it should be comforting to the general population, because just know who you're dealing with, right? If you're a younger person, I mean, you're alive enough to become aware of, okay, these people I don't want to hang around. You know. And as you get into adulthood, you definitely know. And as I talked about, if you want to raise your risk, then become involved with it. But if you want to reduce your risk, then don't.
How much of the population explosion, though?
Pardon me?
How much of this is just the population explosion?
Well, I think you saw the graph. It just is an increase from 1974 when we were amalgamated. You can see the increase over the years.
Chief, there's criticism of the justice system by the mayor's today. What's yours on that?
Well, I mean, we all have concerns with the justice system. As I mentioned, as a good example, we're source country now for production of marijuana. I don't think that's anything we should be proud of. And that's because of the sentences. And we know that for a fact. It's either grown here, it's grown out west, and it's shipped down to New York State. And then they traffic narcotics and guns back. And basically, through our joint forces operations, we know that. And I firmly believe it's because the sentences just aren't there here. If you go down to the United States, then you're going to go to jail.
Sentence you were mentioning the issue about people getting bail, and you said we have to be careful when we talk about the justice system. Can you expand on that?
Well, you don't want to tread on people's rights. I mean, there's different circumstances that are given to each JP, whether you're looking at bail or sentence or whatever. And the authorities judges to exercise, their right to take these into consideration. Now, if there's mitigating circumstances where the sentence should be reduced, then that's their decision. But you can't say in every case that the justice system is weak. Like in the case of the Youth Justice Act, there is a diversion program there. And I think that's well worthwhile. Because if it's a first-time offender for a nonviolent crime, why should he be punished for the rest of his life?
Chief, what do you need? That's why you're here.
Well, I mentioned to a W5 reporter several months ago, I could drop 200 officers into this organization and we wouldn't miss a beat. we really would. But I don't think that's a full answer. As I mentioned, it's social services, it's United Way. It's different reference groups that we can attract and refer people to. That's what they do.
But you also do have more officers.
Yes, I do. Yes.
200, you'd like 200 right away?
Well, I mean, I use that as a number. I haven't presented the finalizing the budget with the board. I think if I said 200, we would kind of blink. But I'm going to make my pitch tomorrow.
Thank you.
We'll give you our numbers for the relations.
Susan?